Ever notice how Meta keeps shoving your ads into Reels even though you don't want them to? Even if you didn't choose that placement? Well, it's not a glitch, it's AI. If you don't know how it works, you might think your ads are broken. In this video, I'm going to show you the real reason Meta does this with your Reels and how to fix it. What's going on, guys? It's boy Jerry the Opposite. Come back at you with a brand new video. Let's be real about Reels, guys. Reels can feel like a bit of a black hole. You upload a nice square image ad and bam! Meta stretches it, crops it, and pushes all your spend into vertical placement. You could start worrying, is this killing my results or is Meta just wasting my budget? And here's the truth, guys. Reels isn't your enemy, is how Meta's AI reads your creative. And if you don't control your previews, things can go sideways. So stick around, guys. We're gonna get into it today. By the end of the day, you will learn how Meta's AI actually designs placements, what advertisers should worry about versus what's totally fine, the exact places to check inside the Meta Ads Manager to ensure that your creatives have been set up correctly, and a creative hack: one ad look great across all placements. So guys, grab your coffees and grab your hats. It's time to spin out some ad magic. Woo! We are here, we are in the Meta Ad Manager, and I'm going to go through some principles as to why your ads could be appearing in Reels even if you don't want them to. So guys, I'm going to create a little dummy campaign and a little dummy ad so you can dummy see what's dummy going on. Okay, so you want to create a sales conversion campaign. We're going to navigate to the section specifically for placements. The first thing to bear in mind is that Reels is a placement, not a format. It is where your ad is shown. It is shown on the placement, okay? Much like stories or much like on a feed, these are the placements that our ads fit into that we will then bid for. That's how the ad systems work. We are bidding for ad space. So the first thing to bear in mind is that Reels is a placement and not a format. Going back to our example, we're going to now create our sales conversion campaign. We're going to go press next. Say for example, you go through your campaign settings, everything here we're going to leave as default, but if you want to change anything you can. Then we're going to navigate to the ad sets section. We're going to press next, or navigate to the navigation on the left hand side. Continue the ad set section, adding in all of your settings for this ad, and we're going to scroll down again all the way towards the bottom where it says placement. This is very important because this is where we can set up our Reel ads, and where you might notice that even if you don't set those settings on, it might still show your ad as a Reel. This is auto placement. This is Meta's way of using AI to place your ads in the specific areas where they're going to resonate most. Typically, we like to have this placement section turned on because what we want to do is tell Meta, hey, it doesn't matter where you go and put our ad. What we care about are the results. And that's what Meta also cares about. It cares about putting your ads in front of people in those placements where people are going to take action. That's very important to bear in mind. Okay, so we're going now through the placements settings of this, and this may change, guys. Meta are constantly fine tweaking this, but this is how it currently stands. When you expand the settings, so you will see all of the different additional settings that we can fine tune for our placements. Now, typically, if you have auto placement turned on, all of these set as default. Now, there are a couple of things here that we could tweak to say, hey, we also want our ad to show as a Reel. If you have auto placement turned on, that gives Meta full control to take that and place it wherever it wants to. So if you have auto placements turned on here, this is exactly what it's going to do. But if you don't want Reels to be shown as part of your placement, you can select or deselect stories and Reels. You can fine tune even more. If you want Messenger stories, but you don't want Instagram stories, you can toggle that off. If you want Instagram stories and not Facebook stories, you can turn that off. If it's turned on, all of this is set on as a default, and Meta is going to go and find us the results. So we're telling Meta, hey, go and find us the place where our ads are going to resonate if all of these are turned on. If you want to, and you want to be specific, hey, this Reel goes here, this particular ad goes on Reels, stories and things, you can set these settings in here and create a different ad for each of these placements, specifying exactly which ad you want for each placement. I wouldn't recommend this because it's more about the inputs and outputs needed to train our ad AI than it is with us tinkering with those controls. So what we're doing here by unticking these or checking them is that we are tinkering with the controls. What we want to do is give Meta all the leverage to go and find us those good results. Meta's AI capabilities are so good that Meta can go and find us results better than we can by articulating where our ads should be shown. This is section number 1 where I would look to make sure, hey, is my ads actually being shown as a Reel? Very, very important for you to understand that you can go and fine tweak if you want to. Okay, now if you go to the next section, the ad section, this is where we're going to create our ad, and you can either press next or you can select the next available step in the ad creation. And here what we're going to do is upload our creative. It could be video or image. We're going to do some fine tweaking and share some previews so we can see what our ads will look like in all of those different placements. So it's very important to check this because as a default, Meta doesn't always get this right. So I'm going to go through the importance of selecting a creative and making sure that it's applicable in all of the different placements and shown correctly. Very important, guys. Okay, so first of all, we're going to scroll down and select our creative. The creative we're going to use is an image for now. This same methodology can be applied to video as well. Wanting to create a video reel ad, this same methodology applies. Meta is changing the user interface on how we create ads a lot, so this could be subject to change, but at the moment, the creative settings are at the ad level in the Meta Ad Manager. If you scroll down, you'll see Add Creative. This is where we're going to upload our new creative, select it, and then we're going to test and make sure that our new creative looks good in all of these different placements. So first of all, we're going to select an image, okay, and we're just going to upload here. Now, what we have done with this particular creative is that we've made it so that it's a 180 by 1350, slightly bigger than a square. As you can see, this is a square format, and then this is the slightly higher format. At this point, it's not specifically for Reels, but we're going to tell, hey, you are allowed to put this on Reels, even though you can see it's not the full 180 by 1920 that the full screen would occupy. Okay, it's a 124 by 1536 here. Okay, so it's not quite as big. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how we can still make this image or this ad, even though it isn't real size, applicable for Reels. So I'm going to select it. Now, as we go to the next section, it's very important here that we look at the different crops. As we can see, Meta is selecting some defaults here. We want to make sure that your ad is still very readable in the different placements. So here we said 1:1 recommended. The reason Meta likes 1:1 or square is because it works very well on desktop. For the higher creatives, typically work really well on mobile, but Meta does like to have the option to have a square version of it, so it can place it in those different placements for feed or for marketplace where the placement is square. Now on this crop here, what you can see is selected the original size as a default. Now this is 9 by 16. This is how it will appear as a reel. Now as you can see, the top and bottom sections are missing because the image itself isn't in that format. So what Meta will do in this case is use Gen AI to fill in these gray gaps with the background color or something that resembles the background. So we can just upload that one image and Meta's AI is automatically going to resize it into a Reels/story, into a vertical size, as we see here, vertical. Now what happens if we press 9 by 16? We're cropping it even harder, and now it's got that ratio of 9 by 16. We can see it fits in really nicely in this placement. So what I would do here, we can leave it as original and allow Meta's AI to fill in these gray gaps. But because we know it works, we can just select this one straight away, drag it to that available crop, and say, hey, this might work really well as a story. So now we've got a square version, 9 by 16 version. Meta also likes to have this horizontal placement. Now, it's not something that we particularly play around with. What I might suggest is having a placement like this, where you're just using the imagery, just the text itself. What I like to do in this case is actually a lot of the time just use original. You want to make sure that your image ad is applicable in this size. So now we can tell Meta, hey, these are the different crops. It's very important as you're uploading your creative that you go into the crop section here and select the correct crops. Sometimes as a default, it might not be the recommended setting, even though it can be used in that way. If we just leave it as this, it says this ad may not be shown on certain placements that you selected, or maybe automatically cropped to avoid this. So you want to tell Meta, hey, this is the crop. This is what we like, right? If it's automatically going to do it and it crops it, for example, like this, okay, that's not good. We want to tell Meta, hey, actually, this is an acceptable crop, whereas cutting off half and half is not, okay? That doesn't look very good. So we need to make sure that we have that section selected. Then you go and finish creating your ad. Okay, so we press next here. And the next section that we need to pay attention to as you're uploading your creative is the enhancements section, guys. Make sure that the default enhancements aren't putting your ads in detriment. Meta really likes to enhance things if it's going to increase the effectiveness of it, right? And what we're doing here is that we're telling Meta, hey, go and increase the effectiveness of this ad. We're going to add overlays, visual touch-ups, music. If there's a video, if Meta turns this image into a video because it sees that people are going to resonate with that better, where is it going to add some music on the top, right? Text improvements, right? You provide your ad copy and headline copy. All of these are interchangeable. You might also see this on Google, where Google uses different copy variations depending on who's going to resonate with that copy and serve the copy to that person who's just going to resonate the best with it. So you want to just make sure, guys, I wouldn't necessarily say that all of these need to be turned on, because sometimes, like I said, it might have a detriment effect to your ads. So you want to make sure that you don't just have all of these turned on. You need to make sure that you look and see, okay, how is this looking? Would I mind if this image turned into a video? How would it look? Play around with this. The things that I would probably toggle on and off depending on how vigorous your ad copies are. I might turn text improvements off, okay? I might turn flex media off, okay? Because we want to be hyper specific on the creative that we're showing. You might want to turn the animation off, or you might want to turn the ad CTA enhancement off. On this one, we can see here that the preview isn't doing much here. This is what the preview will look like. And I don't mind this. This kind of emphasizes the CTA a bit. It doesn't quite cut off the find out now CTA that we've embedded into the creative itself. I don't like this ad animation, so I'm going to turn this one off, and then we're going to press done. So important to go through each of those sections. Now, the next section that we need to check is the media placements, is that you want to just go into each of these groups and just edit the group, press crop, and just make sure that everything is in line with where it needs to be, okay? Here is another way for you to see what the ad looks like in the different placements. So say, for example, you want to change one of them. This one is for Reels, so we've already selected this. This is the default here. We can save this. You can go into each of these. What we can see here is that the preview looks good. That works well on Square. That might need to be shifted over slightly. Okay, so I'm going to go on crop, and here I'm going to shift it over slightly because I saw in the preview there it wasn't quite centered. Now we can see here that the preview is showing all three of those different placements, right? So we can see stories and Reels, search results, apps and sites, feeds, in-stream ads for Reels, right? So now it's got Square, vertical, and one for right column / search results. Now there's another place where we need to check before we press publish. We need to go on advanced preview because we want to see what our ads look like in the different placements. And this is an amazing feature in the Meta Ad Manager where we can see exactly what our ads are going to look like. Highly recommend going through this section as well. I'm going to press up here, advanced preview, and here are all the different placements that your ad will be shown. And each of these placements is labeled Facebook feed, Instagram stories. Let's go down, for example, we can see what our ads look like in all of these different placements. That's important to remember when you check through this. Make sure your ad is looking good in all of the placements. Instagram stories here is looking nice. It's all fitting in nicely. Facebook stories, Instagram Reels, etc. Right? So make sure you check through this and make sure everything's looking good. Press save, and then make sure that your settings have been saved. Now that could be the reason that Meta is showing your ads in Reels, because you have told Meta these are the placements. You've set the settings at the Advantage Plus placement level, and then you've changed the settings at the ad level to specifically crop all of the different creatives for the different placements.
Before we go anywhere else, and you're new here,
don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss any more point updates. We are Men's a week. Business owners, online advertising, digital marketeers, get the best in online advertising, paid media, and digital marketing strategy. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. I'm going to go through another example where I'm going to use a Square image, okay? Because a Square is slightly different. We need to pay even more attention. You may have created an image ad or a video ad as a Square, and I'm going to show you how Meta uses a Square, because that's not a vertical video, right? That's going to work well as a Reel typically, okay? And you may be wondering, hey, I've got a Square image ad, but for some reason it's showing it on Reels, okay? And this may be the reason why, guys, okay? One, we selected auto placement. Let's go back down to the creative level, and I'm going to delete this. Select a Square creative, right? So now we press image ad and Square. Now, what does this look like as a Square? We're going to select our Square. Now, we're now in the crop section of the ad creative, and this is where we're going to select the different crops. Now, what happens when we use a Square? There's no opportunity to turn the one-to-one off. We're just going to use the original. Meta knows this is a Square, okay? So that's why we're not getting our pop-up message, and here is saying expand and crop with AI, right? What does this do? This uses Meta and Drum AI system to crop and expand your Square creatives into the different placements. So again, if you're wondering, I've got a Square ad, why is it being shown on Reels and stories and things like this? It's because you may have this turned on. You may have this crop and expand turned on when you have selected your Square ad. What it does is automatically crop and expand your chosen media to fit more placement. Expanded images were created based on your original asset. Meta does not take any liabilities. You need to check this yourself. They have the terms and conditions there. So to make sure the viewability of these ads is correct. Now we're going to move to the vertical section, and this is very interesting because as you can see here, Meta really wants a 9:16. It really wants a vertical placement. What it looks like if you just use a Square is that it crops it and it doesn't read correctly. You can't read the text. If we scroll all the way to the side, we can't see the lady very well. And if we just have the lady, you can't read the text at all. So this does not work in its current format. If Meta was to crop it in this way, people wouldn't resonate with this ad. It probably wouldn't show this ad as a Reel, because when people are viewing it as a Reel, it doesn't look very good. So people are responding to that. Therefore, even if you do upload an image ad, it might not actually be shown as Reels, or you might not be getting any conversions through Reels. I'm going to show you how to see that shortly. What we need to do here is select original. We need to select original because if we select 9:16, it crops it in a non-organic authentic way and it doesn't work in that placement. So we need to press original. Now for the horizontal placement, does the ad work in those specifications? I think it kind of does, but for the purpose of this example, I'm going to press original. Then press next, and you're going to go to the enhancements section. You're going to finish the rest of your ad creation. Again, just make sure that you fine tune your enhancements, that you only turn on those enhancements that are going to move the needle for your ads and are going to increase the effectiveness of your ad. You press done. As we can see here, this is what our Square ad looks like. You can see when they're different placements, this is what it's going to look like. We have a Square image. We've told Meta you can't crop it anymore. What do our ads look like? The Reel or in a story placement. You can select them individually here at the top or go to advanced preview. You can see the full collection of your ads and how they will look in all of the various placements. It's really cool to look at your ads. As we scroll down, what we can see here is Facebook feed. It's using a banner overlay, which is an additional AI enhancement. What it's enabled that to do is add it a little space in the top, so it's higher than a square. It's not quite vertical, but it's 180 by 1350 dimensions. What it's done here is used the name of the business at the top where that gap is. This is the full placement. This is obviously the square here, and then it's made it slightly bigger by adding the name of the business at the top. That is the AI enhancement feature. As you've used a square and you said, hey, you can't crop it, we still have the automatic placements turned on, which tells Meta, even though this image is a square, I still give you permission to go and place this. Okay, and this is what they look like, guys. This is why it's important to check this, because this isn't the most optimized way of viewing an ad on stories or reels, because there's a lot of blank space missing here. Okay, Meta has used AI to fill in the gap a little bit with the colors used, okay, but it hasn't brought out the full image. This may come, guys. I know Meta is working on this. The idea will eventually be you can just upload an ad and Meta's AI is going to expand and create all the different variations based on that using Andromeda's AI. So very, very exciting, but for now we need to still specify this. So this is what our reels placement and our stories placement look like on mobile. Here we can see the Facebook reels, for example. Here again, it hasn't cropped it under the Facebook reels, and it's got some aspect ratios where it's filling it to the very side. That is an AI enhancement that we have got turned on, but it's pushing the image out. It recognizes what the image is, recognizes where the text is, and it pulls it out so that there's not that much space and it fills up the screen as much as possible. You can turn this off. Here we can see that it's a bit stretched, so we need to reevaluate this. So guys, I'm just going to go through the solution and the golden goose for this. Okay, there is a golden goose creative format that I highly recommend. It's quite difficult to do from a design aspect, but if you can get this down, you will have the golden goose placement that is available as a square, as a height, as a tall video, and as a vertical video. As we're creating these ads, it's important that we feed Meta those different sizes or create one size that is applicable in all the different placements, so that when Meta crops it into square, it works. When Meta selects it as a reel or a story, it works. Okay, this is the golden goose formula. I'm going to show you exactly how that looks. Okay guys, so as mentioned, this is the golden goose formula, a creative that is created with the 180 by 1920 dimension. If it's cropped into the mobile feed or as a square feed, it still works. So I'm going to attach a card in the top corner so you can download this for yourself. I've created a whole video where I go through this exact concept and tell you the specifics. Use this, download this, add it on top of your creative, and then use this as your template to ensure that the creative you're making fits in all of these placements. So if they're cropped into any of these sizes, that your creative still works. That is the golden goose, guys, because then you can just upload that one creative. You can tell Meta, hey, these are the applicable crops, and go and put the ad wherever you want. There's only one of these ads. Go and place the ad wherever you feel is going to resonate and going to have a good effect. So that is the golden goose, guys. If you can create a creative that's vertical, but also applicable as a mobile feed or as a desktop square when they're cropped, that is the golden goose. Like I said, go and download that, use that as a template. What you might like to do, and what we like to do sometimes, is in flexible ad format. Okay, I don't always like using the flexible ad format. We can upload multiple creatives in one ad, and what we can do there is upload all of the different sizes of those ads as a flexible ad. If you can't get this format into one ad type, okay, create a flexible ad and upload all three of the different sizes into that one ad, and then Meta has the flexibility and the flexible ads to go and add the different flexibilities of the placement. Now guys, another place that I would like to draw your attention to, you can see here this breakdown section, highly underutilized. If you're an ad manager and you're not using this breakdown section, okay, you need to start doing that, because there's so much rich information in there. We're at the campaign level right now. What we can do is break down the data of each of the campaign ad sets, all the ads by each of these different criteria. If you've got auto placement turned on, which means that Meta can put your ads on Meta or Instagram, okay, and you want to know how your ads are performing by platform, what you can do is select platform here, select the one campaign that we're interested in looking at that has one ad set in here, so it's very easy to see. Okay, then we're going to go to breakdown, and then we're going to go to platform and select platform, and what we can see here is that Meta has broken down the data by Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. Threads is the latest placement. When we select maximum time, we can see conversion data by the different platforms. It doesn't give us the placements yet, but we're going to go into that in a second. Facebook has had the most number of conversions, but at the highest cost per result. Instagram, we've had lower conversions and a better cost per result, plus better cost per acquisition. We're getting more Instagram results. What happens if I create an ad set where auto placement isn't turned on, where we're just targeting Instagram because the CPAs on Instagram are a bit better? In that case, you wouldn't have automatic placement turned on. You turn off all Meta placements. You just have the Instagram ones running. When you go to breakdown by platform, you'll only see data from Instagram, okay? Because you're telling Meta specifically, only go and put our ads on Instagram. I don't give you automatic placement permission to put our ads anywhere on Meta or Instagram or Threads. I specifically want Instagram. So you can do that at the ad set level under manual placements and not automatic placements. The other breakdown section section that I'd like to draw your attention to is the placement. This is exactly what we've been talking about. Now we can see all the different placement, where all our ads are showing, where's getting more impressions, where's getting more conversions, where are we getting better cost per conversions, and you can break this one campaign down so you can see all of the different placements and where things are having a resonation. Okay, as you may remember, Square is very, very good for desktop. So by having some Square ads means that our ads are getting shown on desktop, and as we can see, we've had a couple of conversions and a really low cost per conversion, right? So giving Meta, which it wouldn't have been able to do had we not given Meta the opportunity to crop it as a square. If we just say, hey, stories and reels, it's not going to put our ads and find us results on the other placements we should also be targeting under automatic placements. As we scroll down here, you can see how the results differ depending on the different placements. Here we've got Instagram feed, here we've got 4 conversions at a $26 CPA. For Instagram reels, here we have 7 conversions at $13.51 CPA format. It converts better than the feed format. It's very interesting. Look at this data. We've even got a conversion here for threads. Facebook stories, we haven't had any results there yet. Facebook reels, we've had 8 results. And Instagram stories, we've not had many results. You can see how much each of the different placements is getting shown. If you look at the impressions, this is the amount of times your ad has been seen. So if your impressions are higher, it means that your ad has been seen more in those placements. The place where we haven't had any conversions, it hasn't pushed those placements very much. It's bidding for placement space and it's putting your ad where there is availability, where Meta knows your audience is likely to take action. How much have you bid? How much are you paying for your ads? Because then you're bidding against other companies for that same placement. So if you bid more, then your bid goes there. That's something to bear in mind as well, guys. So that's my final tip here, just to make sure that you look at this breakdown section. Very important, because you'll be able to see all the data, who's converting on your ad, what age ranges, converting best, what CPAs, etc. You can see all this data in the breakdown section, so I highly recommend looking in this section, specifically at data of all your ads and using that data to inform your decisions. If you want to learn what the Ad Wizard agency has coming up next, and you want to join the waitlist today to signal your intent of interest, sign up to the waitlist using the link down below. No pressure, guys. If you want to, come on in and join us. Thank you so much for all the support so far. I appreciate and love every single one of you. And that's it for today, guys. Hopefully now you have a better understanding as to how Meta deals with your real placements, the difference between an ad format and an ad placement, and how to tweak your ad creatives in the Meta Ad Manager to ensure that your creative is being placed in the right areas. If you want to watch a video on how we use ChatGPT to generate highly converting image ads, click this video over here. I got a step-by-step walkthrough where we create those over here, guys. I'm Jerry the Ad Wizard. You can catch me on X and Instagram at Jerry Ad Wizard, on LinkedIn at Jerry Griffiths, and at Jerry Dreadlocks everywhere else. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm your boy Jerry the Ad Wizard, and wherever you are in the world, I bid you peace and love and a wonderful rest of your day. As always, I'll catch you in the next one.